The world is loud. Everyone has something to say, arguments, opinions, insults, noise. But in the chaos of voices battling for dominance, true power belongs to those who know when to say nothing. Silence is a weapon. It can cut deeper than words, defuse the worst situations, and command more respect than any argument ever could. The greatest minds in history knew this, and none more so than Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled not with reckless words, but with unshakable discipline. He believed that our power doesn't come from controlling others, but from controlling ourselves. Aurelius faced betrayal, war, and crisis. Yet through it all, he mastered one thing: the power of restraint. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is what Stoicism is about, understanding what we can control and what we can't. And in many situations, the best response is no response at all. Keep watching as we explore 12 situations where silence isn't just golden, it's your greatest advantage. These are moments when saying nothing at all can protect your peace, keep your dignity intact, and even give you the upper hand. Your words have power, but your silence, that's where true strength begins. 1. When you are criticized unfairly. Imagine this. You've been working hard on a project for weeks. You've put in the time, the effort, and you're proud of what you've accomplished. But then, someone, maybe your boss, a coworker, or even a friend, criticizes it unfairly. They nitpick, they make assumptions, and worst of all, they don't even acknowledge the good parts. Your first instinct: defend yourself, explain why they're wrong, fight back. But here's the truth. Defending yourself against unfair criticism often makes things worse. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that it's not what happens to us that matters, it's how we perceive it. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." In other words, it's not the criticism that hurts you, it's how you react to it. When you respond defensively, you give the critic exactly what they want: power over your emotions. But when you stay silent, you take away that power. Why silence works. It protects your dignity. Arguing with someone who is being unfair doesn't make them respect you. If anything, it makes them double down. By staying silent, you show confidence. You show that their words don't shake you. It makes the other person look foolish. People expect a reaction. When they don't get one, it makes them uncomfortable. It forces them to think, and in many cases, they'll realize their mistake on their own. It gives you time to think. Maybe there's some truth in the criticism. Maybe there isn't. Either way, silence gives you the time to reflect and respond in a calm, measured way, if you even need to respond at all. Think about a great leader, someone who stays calm under pressure. Maybe it's a CEO facing tough questions from the media. Maybe it's a coach whose team just lost an important game. Have you ever noticed how they pause before they speak? Sometimes they don't respond at all. Why? Because they understand the power of silence. Silence shows strength. Silence shows control. And silence makes the other person second-guess their own words. So, next time you are unfairly criticized, try this. Pause. Take a deep breath and resist the urge to respond immediately. Ask yourself, does this criticism matter? If it's coming from someone whose opinion you value, you can reflect on it later. If it's from someone just trying to tear you down, their words are meaningless. If you must respond, do it calmly. A simple thank you for your feedback can be more powerful than any argument. Remember, you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. By choosing silence, you keep your power. And that is what Stoicism is all about. 2. When you are angry. Anger is a powerful emotion. It takes over your mind, speeds up your heartbeat, and makes you say things you later regret. When someone pushes your buttons, it's easy to lash out, to yell, to prove a point. But here's the thing, anger rarely solves anything. Marcus Aurelius knew this well. He wrote, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" In other words, the damage caused by anger is often worse than whatever made you angry in the first place. Why staying silent when angry is the smart choice. It stops you from saying something you'll regret. When you speak in anger, you're not in control. You might say something cruel, something unfair, something you can't take back. Words can cut deep, and even if you apologize later, the damage is done. It gives you time to think. Anger clouds judgment. By staying silent, you give yourself space to process what's happening. Is the situation really as bad as it feels? Is there a better way to handle it? Silence lets you step back and see the bigger picture. It makes you look stronger, not weaker. Some people think staying silent means you're weak. That's not true. Silence in the face of anger shows self-control, and self-control is one of the greatest signs of inner strength. Think about a time when you were really mad. Maybe someone insulted you, maybe they treated you unfairly. If you exploded in anger, what happened? Did the other person suddenly apologize and see your point of view? Probably not. Now, think about a time when you stayed calm instead. Maybe you walked away. Maybe you took a deep breath and chose not to engage. How did that feel? Instead of making things worse, you gave yourself a chance to handle the situation with a clear mind. So, next time you feel anger rising, try this. Pause. Before you say anything, take a deep breath. Stay silent. Give yourself time to calm down before reacting. Ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow? Most things we get angry about won't even be important a day later. If you must respond, do it calmly. Instead of yelling, say something like, I need a moment to think about this. Silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. The person who controls their emotions controls the situation. 3. When someone is boasting. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone just won't stop bragging? Maybe they're showing off their new car, their expensive vacation, or how much money they're making. You might feel the urge to one-up them, to share your own success, or to bring them back down to earth. But Stoicism teaches us that in moments like this, the best response is silence. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Boasting is often a sign of insecurity. People who are truly confident in themselves don't feel the need to constantly talk about their achievements. And if you join in the competition, you're only feeding the cycle. Wise silence is powerful in these moments. It shows you're secure in yourself. When you don't feel the need to prove yourself, it shows confidence. People respect those who don't seek constant validation. It lets the other person reflect. When someone brags, they expect a reaction. If you don't give them one, they might start to wonder why. Silence can make them realize they don't need to impress you. It keeps you from being pulled into ego battles. Bragging is often a trap. If you respond with your own accomplishments, it turns into a competition. Instead of deep conversations, it becomes a contest of who has more. That's a waste of time. Imagine two people at a party. One is bragging about their latest success, their promotion, their expensive watch, their fancy connections. The other just listens, smiles, and doesn't try to outshine them. Who looks stronger? The quiet person. The person who doesn't feel the need to prove anything. That's true confidence. Next time someone starts boasting, try this. Just listen. Let them talk without feeling the need to add your own story. Resist the urge to compete. You don't need to prove anything to them. Smile and move on. If the conversation is all about showing off, it's not worth your time. Marcus Aurelius believed that wisdom isn't about talking. It's about living in a way that speaks for itself. Let your actions, not your words, show your worth. 4. When rumors are spreading. Rumors are like wildfire. One person whispers something, another repeats it, and before you know it, a small story turns into a big scandal. The worst part, the truth often gets lost along the way. When people are talking about you, whether it's true or false, you might feel the urge to defend yourself, to correct the story, to make sure people know the truth. But sometimes, the most powerful response is silence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You can't control what people say about you, but you can control how you respond. Why silence is the best answer to rumors. It keeps you from making things worse. When you try to explain yourself, people often assume you're guilty. The more you talk, the more fuel you give to the fire. It lets the truth surface on its own. Time reveals everything. If a rumor is false, it will fade away. If you're constantly defending yourself, you only keep the story alive. It protects your peace. Worrying about what others think is exhausting. Instead of wasting energy on gossip, focus on what you can control: your actions, your integrity, and your future. Think of a famous leader, an artist, or even someone in your own life who has faced rumors. The ones who rise above them are usually the ones who don't engage. They keep doing their work. They let their actions speak louder than words. Now, think of someone who tried to fight every rumor. Did it help them? Or did it just make things worse? How can you apply this in your life? Next time you hear a rumor about yourself, try this. Pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Stay silent. Don't fuel the fire with explanations or arguments. Let your actions speak. Continue living your life with integrity. The people who truly matter will see the truth. The best way to stop rumors isn't by arguing, it's by proving them wrong without words. 5. After a major loss. Loss is one of the hardest things we experience as humans. Losing a loved one, a job, a dream, each kind of loss leaves a void. The world around you keeps moving, but inside, everything feels different. In these moments, silence isn't just a choice, it's a necessity. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He wrote, "Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight." That doesn't mean loss is easy. It doesn't mean you shouldn't grieve. But it does mean that there is wisdom in sitting with your emotions before trying to put them into words. Why is silence important after a loss? It gives you time to process your emotions. In the moment of loss, people often rush to move on. They force themselves to be okay before they truly are. But healing takes time, and silence gives you the space to feel what you need to feel. It helps you avoid saying something you regret. When you're grieving, emotions are raw. If you speak too soon, you might say things out of pain, things that don't truly reflect your thoughts. Silence helps you process before you express. It honors what was lost. Some things in life are too deep for words. Staying silent, even just for a little while, can be a way of respecting what was lost. Take someone like Nelson Mandela. He suffered through years of loss, his freedom, his relationships, his time. But instead of reacting in anger, he used that silence to reflect, to learn, to grow. And when he finally spoke, his words carried power. Or think about a time in your own life, a time when you experienced loss. Did rushing to talk about it help? Or did the real healing come in the quiet moments? How to apply this in your life? When facing loss, give yourself permission to be silent. You don't have to explain your pain to anyone. Avoid speaking out of grief. Wait until you're ready. Use silence as a tool for healing. Whether through meditation, reflection, or simply taking time alone, allow yourself the space to process. Loss is never easy, but silence, when embraced, can be a bridge to healing. 6. When confronted with ignorance. Have you ever argued with someone who refuses to listen? No matter how much logic or reason you bring, they stay stuck in their own beliefs. It's frustrating, isn't it? But here's the truth. Arguing with ignorance is a waste of time. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." When someone is unwilling to learn, silence is often the best response. Why silence is the smart choice? You can't change a closed mind. Some people are so set in their beliefs that no amount of reasoning will change them. Instead of arguing, let them believe what they want. Your energy is valuable. Don't waste it. Engaging in pointless debates drains your energy. It's better to focus on things that actually bring value to your life. Silence speaks louder than words. When you refuse to engage in foolish arguments, you show confidence and wisdom. You don't need to prove anything. Think of Galileo. When he proved that the earth revolves around the sun, people called him a liar. Instead of fighting endless battles with those who refused to listen, he let time reveal the truth. Now think of yourself. Have you ever spent hours arguing with someone who refused to change their mind? Did it help? Or did it just leave you feeling exhausted? How to apply this in your life? When someone refuses to listen, walk away. When you see ignorance, stay silent. Let your knowledge and wisdom speak through your actions, not arguments. At the end of the day, you don't need to fight every battle. 8. When confronted with injustice. Injustice is painful. It's natural to want to fight back, to defend yourself, to prove that you're right. And sometimes the most powerful response is not anger, but silence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden." This doesn't mean you ignore injustice. It means you handle it with wisdom, patience, and self-control. Why silence can be powerful in the face of injustice. It prevents you from making emotional mistakes. Acting out of anger often leads to regret. Silence gives you time to think before you respond. It allows you to plan a stronger response. Instead of reacting impulsively, silence helps you strategize. Sometimes, the best way to fight injustice is through calm, calculated action. It shows strength, not weakness. Many people think silence is submission, but in reality, it takes great strength to remain calm in the face of unfairness. Take Nelson Mandela. He was unjustly imprisoned for 27 years. He had every reason to fight, to lash out, to demand revenge. But instead, he chose silence and patience. He used his time in prison to learn, to think, to plan. And when he was finally released, he didn't seek revenge, he sought justice. His silence wasn't weakness. It was power. How to apply this in your life? Don't react out of anger. Pause, breathe, and think. Use silence to protect your peace. Not every battle needs words. When the time is right, take action, but do it wisely. Fighting injustice doesn't always mean shouting the loudest. Sometimes, true power is in the silence before the storm. 9. When dealing with insults. We've all been there. Someone insults you. Maybe it's a rude comment, a sarcastic remark, or an outright attack. Your first instinct? Fight back. Defend yourself. Prove them wrong. But what if you didn't? Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Instead of responding with anger, imagine responding with silence. Why silence is the best response to insults. It keeps you in control. If you react emotionally, you let the other person control you. By staying silent, you keep your power. It kills the insult's power. Insults only work if they get a reaction. No reaction? No power. It makes you look strong. People who stay calm in the face of insults earn respect. They show maturity, wisdom, and emotional control. Think of Gandhi. He was insulted, attacked, and ridiculed, yet he never lashed out. Instead, he responded with calmness and silence. His quiet strength made his enemies look small. Now, think about yourself. Have you ever regretted reacting to an insult? What if you had just smiled and walked away? How to apply this in your life? Pause before reacting. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, does this insult define me? If not, let it go. Remember, silence is not weakness, it's confidence. The next time someone insults you, don't give them the reaction they want. Give them silence. 10. When facing betrayal. Betrayal cuts deep. It's not just about losing trust. It's about feeling foolish for trusting in the first place. Your first instinct might be to lash out. Confront the person. Make them feel the pain they caused you. But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, don't waste energy proving your worth. Just live it. Why silence is powerful in betrayal. It protects your dignity. Arguing, crying, or trying to expose the betrayer often makes you look weak. Staying silent shows strength. It helps you move on faster. The more you dwell on betrayal, the more power it has over you. Silence helps you detach and move forward. It sends a clear message. Betrayal is a choice. So is your reaction. By staying silent, you're saying, "I don't need you. I will rise above this." Julius Caesar was betrayed by his closest allies, including Brutus. Instead of shouting or defending himself, his last words were, "Et tu, Brute?" Meaning, "And you, Brutus?" No screaming, no fighting, just quiet realization. His silence made the moment legendary. How to apply this in your life? Accept the betrayal. Don't fight it. Don't beg for explanations. People who betray you already know what they did. Move forward with grace. Let your success be your response. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say to a betrayer is nothing at all. 11. When someone is testing your patience. Have you ever been in a situation where someone keeps pushing your buttons? Maybe it's a rude coworker, a difficult family member, or someone who just loves to annoy you. It's easy to snap, to say something you'll regret. But the Stoics remind us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. In other words, you control how you react. Why silence is the best response to annoyance? It stops the cycle. Some people want to see you react. If you stay calm, they lose. It shows maturity. When you don't let small things get to you, people see you as wise and unshakable. It protects your energy. Getting annoyed drains you. Silence helps you stay peaceful. Think of a martial artist in a fight. If their opponent is aggressive and throwing wild punches, a smart fighter doesn't panic. They stay calm. They wait. They use their opponent's energy against them. You can do the same. How to apply this in your life when someone tries to get a reaction from you? Pause. Smile, breathe, and stay silent. Walk away if needed. Your patience is your power. Don't let anyone take that from you. 12. When making important decisions. Life is full of choices, some small, some life-changing. Where to live, who to trust, what path to take. But here's the problem. The bigger the decision, the louder the noise. Opinions from friends, family, social media, and even our own anxious thoughts start piling up. In moments like this, silence is your greatest tool. Why silence helps in decision-making? It clears your mind. Constantly talking about a decision can make it feel more confusing. Silence helps you sort through your thoughts without outside pressure. It reduces regret. Rushed decisions often lead to regret. Taking time to sit in silence lets you be sure of what you truly want. It makes you trust yourself. The more you rely on others' opinions, the less confidence you have in your own choices. Silence helps you tune into your inner wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, had to make some of the toughest decisions in history. He ruled an empire facing wars, plagues, and political betrayals. Yet, he didn't make decisions in a rush. Instead, he would sit in silence, writing down his thoughts, weighing every option carefully. His book, Meditations, is filled with the wisdom he gained from quiet reflection. What if we did the same? Instead of rushing to a decision, what if we took time to be silent, to listen to our own thoughts before making a move? How to apply this in your life? Step away from the noise. Take a walk. Sit in silence. Write down your thoughts. What do you truly want? Sleep on big decisions. Clarity comes in quiet moments. The best decisions aren't made in panic or pressure. They're made in silence. Throughout history, the wisest people have understood one truth: silence is not weakness. Silence is power. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, these great Stoics all knew when to speak and when to stay silent. They knew that silence can defuse arguments, protect your dignity, give you control over your emotions, help you make better decisions, show strength instead of weakness. A final thought from Marcus Aurelius: don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, stop proving yourself. Stop over-explaining. Stop reacting to every little thing. Instead, live with purpose, act with wisdom, and let your silence speak louder than words. So, what about you? How do you use silence in your life? Let me know in the comments. And if this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more Stoic wisdom. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay silent, stay strong.